Hello and welcome to our session for today. Like we said, we don't want to waste time waiting for those who are entering. So I want to know if you can hear me. Please quickly notify by dropping a message in the chat box. You can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me by dropping a message on the chat box. The meeting is scheduled for 45 minutes. So we'll have to ensure we take it as fast as we can. All right. Kioya, I can see, you can hear me. Is only okay, Hashim, all right. All right. So let's quickly continue and start. All right, last time, good morning all. My name is Silas. I am a facilitator for today. I don't know if those of you that have attended presently are those that also attended yesterday. But a quickly recap of what we did yesterday. Quick recap of what we did yesterday was our onboarding section. Yesterday we um, talked about the objective of the program. We talked about how we want to increase the awareness. Uh, we talked about how we want to increase cybersecurity awareness among youths and also identify the next generation of cybersecurity experts. We also talk about how to increase enabling platform for capacity building and employability, and then make you ready for a job in case you want to travel abroad. I also talk about how can create a cybersecurity challenges and problems in the real world, and then also link those that we are going to train, particularly you, link you into cyber security industries so that you can quickly get uh, hands on something as a cybersecurity expert. Also, we talked how you can also make sure that the training, take part of the training, attend all the classes, the assessment that will be given to you. Like today, you have an assessment after the end of the class. I also ensure you take your assessment and then obtain your certificate, which is very, very important. And so that is what we're going to, that's what we did yesterday. And today also, we're going to start the training proper. Please, uh, like I said, my name is Silas, your instructor, your coach. I have been in the ethical hacking field for a couple of years, about 10 years. To this year, we're making it 10 years. And I'm a cybersecurity consultant uh, at UM Services and Security. Also, an information security expert. I'm an ethical hacker, and the training is for you also to be an ethical hacker. We're going to talk about that as we progress. I've had many years of experience with multinational companies, both individuals. And so what we are going to do is based on experience, not based on assumptions, based on what we already know. So your attention is clearly needed. Get your writing materials because you will not want to jot some important notes. And if you have a question, I usually say that to allow the session to go. If there is point for question, I will open the door for questions so that your question will not be missed. So that by the time we are taking questions, we take everybody's question. Also, you can write down your questions, you have them. Along the line, we'll open the floor so that you can drop your question and then we'll talk on it. And then we're going to make the training very simple so that everybody will benefit, even those with zero knowledge benefit. So we're going to take it as simple as we could. The topics we want to cover for today, we want to talk about the history of the internet. We want to talk about the digital citizenship. Who is a digital citizen? Are you a digital citizen? We want to find out. We want to talk about security and cyber security and the terminologies that are used as a cyber security expert so that by the time we use them in the subsequent classes, you will not be carried, you will not be confused. When we mention any of those terms, you will be able to quickly understand where we are going. And so, we want to start with the history of the internet. The internet started long ago, and during the introduction of the internet, it was made only for a gathering of information. But today, the web does not only uh, function as an access to files, for you to download files, but it enables you to jump from one place to the other, one site to the other through hyperlinks. Hyperlinks is just like a road network where you can navigate from one community to the other, from one state to the other. In the internet, in the internet, we call it hyperlinks. It enable you to jump from one site to the other site in search of information. And During the time when the internet was invented, it was mainly used by government officials to share information among themselves. That was in the early 60s. They were using it to share information about themselves, within themselves. But at the long run, it was not deemed necessary to uh, uh, make it available for everyone to access so that this information can reach everyone. And also everybody can have access to the information needed. So January 1st, 1983 was considered the official birthday of the internet because that was the time that it was actually launched to or make it available to everyone. And then during this period, uh, the transfer control protocol was introduced, or the internet network protocol was introduced so that communications will be made easier for users. And now, since then, we've been using the internet. I've been using it to perform various functions. Sometimes we use it for communications with one another. Sometimes we use it to search for information. Sometimes we use it to watch movies and then spend our leisure times. Um, but we don't know what a digital citizen is. What is a digital citizen? What do you understand by the term digital citizen? If you look at the word digital citizen, you will probably understand what it means. But I want one or two persons to tell me in the chat box what a digital citizen is. What you understand by the term digital citizen. Somebody can volunteer in the chat box and then give us an idea of what you think. 15 seconds. What is a digital citizen? I want to see it from the chat box. All right. Anybody has an idea? Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. Kayoya says, I think digital citizen refers to people that use the internet. Good. You are very correct. Digital citizens are those that use the internet. So long as you are making use of the internet, then you are a digital citizen. That is why uh, an IT specialist, Mike Robo, he says digital citizenship citizen is referred to as those using the internet or technology responsibly and appropriately are digital citizens. You're making use of the internet, not just making use of it, but using it responsibly and appropriately. Using it for its purpose, not for the purpose with which it was not made for. Because some persons abuses their citizenship, and sometimes you lost citizenship. So you can also lose citizenship digitally. So let's talk about the digital citizenship. So since we know that anyone that uses the internet regularly is automatically a digital citizen, then there are elements that make up these digital citizens, just like what actually make up citizenship in your area. The first thing that makes up digital the mix of digital citizen is the access. As one of the elements of digital citizenship is the access. Just imagine you are living in a particular area and to you don't have access to go out, or access to communicate with people, or access to purchase, then you're not a citizen. So as a digital citizen, you have access, full access as a good citizen, full access to almost every site as a good citizen. That is why you see Facebook or social media, some social medias, they ban you from participating, from full participation because you lost. Somebody saying you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Hashim, please, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Please indicate if you can hear me. All right. So, uh, social media will disconnect you sometimes if you misuse your citizenship. So you will not have full access. So a good citizen, digital citizen is that person that has full access to all platforms. Although there are some platforms that are restricted for some persons. That is how it is in the real world. In the real world, it's not every place that you go to. You can't go to the government house arbitrarily, even though you're a good citizen. You can't go to a certain place without permission, even though you're a good citizen. That's how it is online. So digitally, as a good citizen, you have access to everywhere. And then commerce. Buying and selling online is very sweet. So as a digital citizen, you should have the ability to communicate with the products you want to buy. Consumers need to be aware of what they are purchasing. That is why you see when you are selling products online, you see some persons to tell you, they will give you the full description of their product, because it is your right as a citizen to know what you are paying for. Except you don't know your right, then you pay without even seeing what you are paying for. The next in the line is communication. This is one thing that a lot of persons abuse, because you have the right to communicate. You use it anyhow. There are many ways to communicate online, but citizens need to make sure that they make wise decisions about how they communicate. You can communicate via um, uh, you can communicate via pictures. You can communicate via text. You can communicate on video. You can communicate with chat. Whichever way you are using to communicate, make sure you do it responsibly. Not because you have the right to communicate. You see some persons who tarnish people's image on the internet. They will take one image and add something else and tell you that this is what the person is doing in a particular day, whereas it is not true. So these people are misusing the right they have as digital citizens. Literacy is another element in the digital citizenship. Technologists literally require people to keep with digital changes. There is always update. Even your phone normally will update itself. So you also need to be sure that you are following up with these changes. If there is a law, sometimes privacy policy of a firm can be changed. So you need to be aware so that you don't misuse this law. Another element there is the etiquette. Citizens need to follow etiquette when communicating. You don't just talk anyhow. You also need to follow law. Citizens need to behave ethically. Be aware of laws governing them. Because you're using the internet, it doesn't give you right to make. You think there's no law. There is a law that is binding you. So those law enforcement agencies, if they are up to their heel, they will be able to identify those who are making bad use of the internet, those who are wrong digital citizens. So what category do you fall on? Those that doesn't want to care about what the law says, about what they are saying, about their means of communication, about what they post on the internet. You need to make good wise decision when communicating so that you don't break the rules. Rights and responsibility. It is your right to say whatever you are saying. You are also responsible for whatever you say. So rights are shared equally. Even though you have the right to do whatever you want to do online, you are also responsible for the outcome. What about health and wellness? Is the eighth in our list. Physical and psychological issues can occur when ergonomics and other problems are not addressed. Sometimes have you been trying to probably fill a form and they say the form is going to end by 4 p.m. and then you are now by 2:30 and 3 p.m. trying to fill the form and the internet is not giving you good access. You become worried. It affects your health. Sometimes you are using the internet and maybe your phone is not responding the way you want it to respond. It affects you. It can give you insomnia. You will not be able to sleep at night. So you can see what happens in the digital world is also happening in the real world. And then security, which is our last and the most important of the day. You're using the internet and you're not secure. We're going to show you how to use the internet securely, so that even when you are browsing, it will be difficult to be hacked. So you are using the internet, you are responsible for your security. Nobody is protecting you. You protect yourself. That is why you're coming to this journey of cybersecurity. You're protecting yourself as a cybersecurity expert. You protect yourself, you protect the organization you find yourself. Engaging with others. Digital media allow us to communicate, collaborate, learn, and share online. When engaging with others online, it is important to behave as though they are in the room with you. You are engaging with others. Try to see them as people who are already with you in your living room or your relaxing area. Do not see them as people that you can just say anything on and then disappear. Try to see them as people that you are seeing they are with you. Now, how do you do that? You must be patient. When people are responding negatively towards you, you don't need to respond same way. You need to be patient. Build relationship. Ensure you build relationship with people. Aggressive attempts to communicate can make people uncomfortable with you. When you respond to them aggressively, they become uncomfortable with you. And maybe by the time you are by the time you are just communicating abusively, and at a point you want to become an honorable online. No doubt you remember the point with which you are responding negatively, because it has already been registered in the minds of those we are communicating with. So let us always engage responsibly, be patient, dialogue, ask questions, and begin with discussions. When communicating, ask questions, communicate with them, with your folks. Discuss with them, and don't just leave people, because there's something that some persons usually do. When you are discussing with someone, after a while you just leave the person abruptly and go into the thin air. At the point nobody sees you, but you are discussing, you are in the middle of a discussion. Maybe after 2, 3, 4 hours, or after 24 hours, you come back and then continue the discussion. You expect the person to continue waiting for you? It is necessary that you start any discussion with greetings. Even though the discussions was not complete formally, you not need to continue the discussion with a greeting. This will help share a good sense of honor to the persons you are discussing with. Share sparingly, don't share anyhow. Share responsibly. You have the right to share information. Share information, but do not spam people. There are things that some persons does. You see somebody putting a post on the social media and say, I had an accident on my way going to a particular place. And at the end of the day, maybe he tells the story. You come to the comment section. You see people commenting with regard to what the person has posted. And then you come at the end of the day, you see another post. You want to make money in 2023, click here. How does that relate to the topic? So that such person is spamming people. You are putting information where they don't want it. So let us not spam people. As cybersecurity experts, you are not meant to spam people. We are teaching you all this because these are the things you need to know before you venture into the full hacking practice. You also need to maintain relationships, build new friends, and pay attention to existing ones. You can have 50,000 friends, but do you pay attention to them? Do you communicate with them? Do you make the relationship to be strong? All these are very important. Be respectful. Do not type or say anything that does not convey respect. Anything that does not convey respect, do not type. We are even begging you on that. Don't type anything that does not convey respect. Make sure that what you are saying is respectful. Those receiving it will receive it also with respect. Now, what is security? In the comment section, I want somebody to also help. Comment section. What you understand by the term security. Although I've seen here in the screen that security is the process of maintaining an acceptable level of passive risk. But what do you on your own understand by the term security? Let me hear from you also. What do you understand by the term security? Fifteen seconds. Security is everybody's work, especially oneself. You must work hard to secure yourself. But while you are securing yourself, those who are trying to breach security will always want to break your secured facility. So that is why it is important that you change your security approaches, change your security techniques, and ensure that you continue to remain safe. Digital security and safety. Being a good digital citizen requires that you are responsible. It requires you to be responsible for your security and safety. As a security expert, don't trust anyone you don't know. Don't trust anybody you don't know. The internet is a place where everybody meets. You meet a lot of persons, but do not trust anybody you don't know. Look at the signs of scammers. They are asked you to download something. They'll just give you a link. If you download this link, you'll be making a lot of money. I ask you to for some money, and then sometimes they ask you for private information. These are one of the ways those who are black hat hackers will penetrate you and then make due of your information. And also, do not connect to public Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi that have numerous people connecting together. Do not, even if you are connecting to public Wi-Fi, there are things you should not do. Make sure you don't visit a site that requires you to put your credit card information, your ATM card. Maybe you want to fund an account and you are connecting through a public Wi-Fi. Hackers sometimes they open a public Wi-Fi in order to collect people's information. So once you connect through that Wi-Fi, they are stealing your information already. So by the time you are trying to click or type in your credit card information, they are picking those information gradually, and then they are making good use of them. So do not share credit card information when you are on a public Wi-Fi, and make sure you connect to the right Wi-Fi. And if you are visiting a site and the site does not have secure socket layer, SSL. To identify site that have SSL. When you go into the site, when you go to Google, the address bar, you will see where they write HTTPS double colon forward slash the website. If it is not HTTPS, do not trust such site. Except it is HTTPS. Some of the sites you see, they are HTTP. Those sites can take your private information. You have to be aware of that. And then cybersecurity. I will know cybersecurity, what it actually means, and that is why we are here. Cybersecurity is a way of protecting a system from malicious attack. If you are an expert in cybersecurity, that means you should be able to protect systems, computer systems, phones from being attacked by hackers. And so, what about cyberspace? A cyberspace is a space where you connect to the internet. Once we are connected to the internet, you are communicating, then you are in a cyberspace. Cyberspace, there's no special location that is called a cyberspace. Cyberspace is where you communicate with people, and you need a network, you need a device, you need a software, and then a process to do that. So when you are in a cyberspace, you are vulnerable to hackers already. Then you need to be security conscious. What cybersecurity does is to prevent attack, prevent disruption, control physical access, and protect against code injection. So as a cybersecurity expert, you should be able to function in all of this. The importance of cybersecurity is to protect system against data breaches and then against sabotage. At the end of this course, you should be able to understand the simple way of doing this. If you say you are a hacker, what does that mean? A hacker, if I say I'm a hacker today, it doesn't mean that I use information in the wrong way, or I steal people's information in the wrong way. But it depends on the type of hacker with which I am. We are actually training you to be a white hat hacker, not the type of hacker that steals people's information. But what is a white hat hacker? A white hat hacker is those type of hackers or those professionals that protect information. They protect the system from being vulnerable to attack. While the black hat hacker are those that attack people's system. They attack your system. They come in a different way to attack your system for the purpose of their selfish interest. And then the gray hat hacker are those that will come to your system. Their purpose is not to attack you. The purpose is not to take information from you, but their purpose is to look for your vulnerabilities and then let you to be aware of it. I can go to your site and tell you, these are the loopholes you have. Please protect them. If not, you will be attacked. Then I'm functioning as a great hacker. So I can put on the gray hack, and also I can also put on the white hack. But I dare not to put on the black hat because there are so many consequences in putting on the black hat as a hacker. That does not mean that you don't know how to attack a website. So there are terms that we'll be discussing, we'll be using in the long run. Our time is fast going. We'll talk about worm. When we talk about worm, it's not a physical worm. Worm is an application or a software or a device that is used by hackers to damage your bandwidth consumption rate, stop malware in your system, turn off safe mode, and then they will not allow your system to auto update. You want to update your system, it will not allow you. Your data is being consumed arbitrarily. You don't even understand why your data is being used. You want to go to safe mode, it will not allow you. There is a worm in your system, and then the hacker is using your system for something else. Then what you hear about spyware are those programs that collects your personal data to redirect your browser and also change your computer settings. You sometimes don't wake up in the morning and see that your computer settings have been changed. And then that is where we have at the end of our class for today. Our next class is going to be how we're going to download the hacking tools. And then we're going to use how to exploit, do web exploitation, and then cross-site scripting and forgery, request forgery, how to perform a social engineering attack, and then password cracking and prevention. You want to know how to crack people's password and also how to prevent them. Tomorrow's class is not going to be on Zoom. It's going to be on Google Meet so that we have a lot of time to use, because Zoom will only allow us 45 minutes and we are almost exhausted with our time. Please, if you have questions, you can drop. I have less than 1 minute to communicate to you. The slide will be sent to your email. Please do well to drop your email in the chat box. If you have questions, do well to communicate. All right, we have limited time, like I said, and our time is almost off. So you get the mail, the slide, your mail today.